If you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust, and she even decided to go after a legend, the legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season, and she is in the midst of making a comeback. And, of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend.
The Chicago Sky locker room has become a war zone. A simmering tension between a young, outspoken star and a revered veteran has finally erupted, threatening to tear the entire franchise apart. What was said behind closed doors has now exploded into the public eye, revealing a deep fracture within the team. But no one, not even the most cynical observers, could have predicted the sheer audacity of Angel Reese's public attack on a player who is, by all accounts, a living legend.
Yeah, at this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to. With what Courtney Vandersloot just came back and said, Courtney Vandersloot just smoked Angel Reese. And you know who else is going in on Angel Reese? You got Nightcap with Unk and Ocho, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson going in on this Angel Reese situation. She didn't think it was going to go this way. This went all the way in left field. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
What started as a routine media session quickly devolved into a shocking character assassination. Angel Reese, a player whose on-court performance has been wildly inconsistent, took it upon herself to publicly question if Courtney Vandersloot, a two-time champion and future Hall of Famer, had the grit to return from a devastating ACL tear at her age. The disrespect was so blatant, so personal, it left the entire WNBA community utterly stunned and searching for answers. It wasn't a critique, it was an ambush.
With the Sky, she's won a championship with the Liberty, and I mean this when I say this. Jeff Pagliocca does not give two fucks about the star power of Angel Reese. As well as that, it's not like a Caitlin Clark star power where having Angel Reese on your team instantly improves your city's economy. Having Caitlin Clark on your team improves your city's economy. Having Angel Reese on your team doesn't do any of that. It does not do any of that. However, this Courtney Vandersloot is someone that Angel Reese has. She was the one player Angel Reese name dropped in her thing about basically saying she's not good. She's not going to be good enough.
To truly understand the cruelty of Reese's words, you have to understand the injury itself. An ACL tear is one of the most feared injuries in sports, a brutal combination of physical agony and psychological torment. The rehabilitation is a lonely, grueling process that tests an athlete's very soul. For a player in their mid-30s like Vandersloot, it's often considered a career death sentence. For a teammate to not just doubt her recovery, but to mock it publicly is a level of callousness that goes beyond basketball. It's a fundamental lack of empathy, exposing a coldness that shocked even the most seasoned veterans of the game.
Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. And by the way, this has only been out maybe an hour, and I'm seeing responses from Angel Reese fans. They are some of the ugliest, nastiest, ghetto thug responses. I'm going to keep it real. Responses I've ever seen in my life. People have calling her Courtney a bitch, a hoe. I mean, I shit you not. That's the level of response Angel Reese fans have given this NBA legend.
The irony of the situation is almost laughable, bordering on the absurd. Angel Reese, a player who has yet to lead a team to a winning season, lecturing a woman who not only delivered the Sky their first and only championship in 2021, but then immediately went to New York and won another title with the Liberty in 2023. Vandersloot has more championship rings than Reese has professional seasons. It's the equivalent of a high school guitarist questioning if Jimmy Page still knows how to play a solo. The delusion isn't just staggering, it's deeply concerning.
The Chicago Sky, they might be saying to themselves, Angel Reese just isn't worth the headache that she is causing. Great rebounder. As for everything else, She's not worth the headache that she's causing. She's going to call out the organization. She's going to call out the front office. She's going to call out the teammates, throw Courtney Vandersloot under the bus. Doesn't really go over well with the organization. Doesn't really go over well with the teammates.
But legends don't get rattled by noise from the cheap seats. Courtney Vandersloot's response was a masterclass in quiet dominance. With ice-cold precision and understated elegance, she dismantled Reese's narrative without even raising her voice. Contrary to what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor, Vandersloot stated, her confidence unwavering and forged in over a decade of silencing doubters. I am coming back, and I am going to come back better than ever, because that's what I've done. And in that single powerful statement, she exposed the massive gap between a true professional and a clout-chasing rookie.
She said, contrary to what people think, what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. This is after Angel Reese said, yeah, Sloot is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL. Sloot wasn't going for it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Courtney Vandersloot has won a title in Chicago, and she will not be playing with Angel Reese next year. I'm going to tell you that right now.
This incident reveals two completely different philosophies at play. While Reese chases camera flashes and social media clout, Vandersloot chases greatness in the quiet of an empty gym. Where Reese is busy pointing fingers and making excuses for her team's failures, Vandersloot is deep in rehabilitating, letting her unmatched work ethic do the talking. At 36, she's not looking for sympathy or headlines. She's preparing for a comeback, driven by the same methodical focus that has defined her entire legendary career. One is building a brand, the other is cementing a legacy.
Angel Reese will make the WNBA bigger than the NFL in 5 years. Girl, what are you smoking? How is this going to work when she can't even sell herself? I mean, the NBA will be lucky if they even last that much longer. That's the point we're at. And who's to say Angel Reese will even be on a team in that long too? Like, this girl always will find some way to complain or feel that she is deprived of whatever right it may be. Nobody likes angels, Dawn. Like, just get it through your head. And people are gonna say, well, she's beautiful. Girl, if that is all you have for your people to back you up on, you know you're doing something wrong. Regardless of what I think, girl, do not rely on that for your whole personality.
This conflict also highlights a generational divide in how athletes handle the spotlight. Angel Reese is a master of the modern media game, building her Bayou Barbie brand into a commercial powerhouse with millions of social media followers. She lives her life in public, leveraging every controversy for more engagement. Courtney Vandersloot, by contrast, is a silent assassin. She has no flashy brand, no thirst for viral moments. Her social media is understated, and she rarely seeks out the microphone. She operates on an old-school code. Your game speaks for you. This clash isn't just about an opinion. It's about two fundamentally different views on what it means to be a professional athlete.
Let us recognize 5-time All-Star, 7-time assist champion, 5-time All WNBA, 2-time WNBA champion, 2011 All Rookie team. Angel will not have the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. She won't. You know why? Because I don't think the league's going to tolerate her long enough. She's going to run her mouth until she just ends up jumping from team to team until she does what I think she should do right now. Quit the WNBA and go to Unrivaled and don't come back.
And let's be brutally clear, the numbers paint a devastating picture that makes Reese's comments look even more foolish. Reese's game is plagued by inefficiency, with a field goal percentage hovering under 40% and a turnover rate that single-handedly kills offensive possessions. Vandersloot, on the other hand, is the WNBA's all-time leader in assists per game. Her entire career has been built on making her teammates better, a concept that seems utterly foreign to Reese. The stats don't just show two different players, they show two different universes of basketball intelligence and on-court value.
Angel Reese doesn't touch the floor. Doesn't play in the first half, doesn't play in the second half. Oh, this is interesting. Did Tyler Marsh just say, you know what, Angel, I like the group that we have in right now. We don't need you. We're playing well. I don't know. Does Angel Reese throw a hissy fit in the locker room? Says, no, I'm not playing. Kinda did that. Maybe not that exact, but she went about not playing. Yep, instead of coming to help her teammates, she would rather stick it to the Chicago Sky organization.
What makes this even more disgraceful is who Reese chose to target. This isn't just any veteran. This is Courtney Vandersloot, the woman who is Chicago Sky basketball. She's the franchise's all-time leader in games played, assists, and steals, and recently became their all-time leading scorer, surpassing her own wife, Allie Quigley. She is the architect of the team's greatest success. For Reese to disrespect her isn't just bad judgment, it's a profound betrayal that the city's loyal fan base and the team's veterans won't soon forget.
Angel Reese is an a-hole. I'm straight up say she just is, and this is due to immaturity, inflated ego, people gassing her up, and I blame society. Really, I blame society the most of this because it's really predictable when a young person is given all this attention, given money, and all this, but the thing is, it was predictable because we know the level of talent isn't there. Yet the media kept gassing her up. Her fans kept gassing her up.
The fallout was immediate and severe. Veterans across the league quietly voiced their disgust, shocked that a young player would so brazenly and publicly attack an icon of the sport. Inside the Sky locker room, the silence was deafening. Teammates who once looked to Reese for energy now look away, their body language screaming disapproval and distrust. Sources claim the team meeting that followed was beyond tense, with the trust between Reese and the rest of the roster now completely and irreparably shattered.
Angel Reese, after playing her previous game against the Connecticut Sun, I believe, after having rest, being suspended for the Indiana Fever game, suddenly, in those 5 days off, Angel Reese's back starts acting up. Oh, my back hurts. My neck. My back. Oh, my back hurts. Angel Reese says, oh, it hurts. Interesting, Angel. Very interesting. What a weird time for your back to start acting up now. Angel Reese said, you know what, Chicago Sky? You want to suspend me for a game? Fuck it. My back hurts. Don't even worry about subbing me back in. Don't even worry about me starting the third quarter. My back hurts. Fuck y'all. I don't want to play for y'all. Leave me the hell alone.
This public implosion has created a coach's worst nightmare. How do you manage a locker room this openly divided? The coaching staff is now forced into an impossible position. Either you discipline your young, marketable star and risk alienating her completely, or you let it slide and send a message to the entire team that disrespect and insubordination are acceptable. There is no winning move. The front office is now dealing with a self-inflicted crisis that threatens not just the season, but the long-term culture of the entire organization.
Nobody was wondering, hey, is Courtney Vandersloot gonna be back? Will she return to old form? Nobody was even thinking about her. You brought her up and took a direct shot, and she's firing those shots back off at your ass. I don't know what's gonna happen. All I know is Angel Reese will not be wearing a Chicago Sky uniform next year. They don't have the pieces. They don't even have their own first round pick. They gave it up. So they don't even have the pieces to build through the draft. Free agents aren't going to want to come there. They don't want to go there to play with that team. So they are built to tank without picks. So they're in a bad spot.
This moment perfectly illustrates the fundamental difference between them as teammates. Vandersloot is an architect, a true floor general, whose presence alone elevates the entire team. She's the type of leader who commands respect the second she walks into a gym, not through words but through action. Reese, in stark contrast, has become a wrecking ball to team chemistry. Her constant public complaints about coaching, management, and now her own teammates have fostered a toxic every woman for herself environment where no one feels safe.
I'm gonna be frankly honest, I don't think she has much talent as it is. I don't. The only thing she got going, she does have a motor. One thing you can't say is she's lazy. That's the only two redeemable qualities that she has. But the problem is her motor now is into attention, is into trying to be famous instead of her game. She had that motor before at LSU. Also, you had Kim Mulkey holding her accountable. She hasn't had a coach holding her accountable at all until this.
The aftermath was a pathetic and transparent attempt at damage control. After a suspension was handed down for her comments, Reese suddenly developed a mysterious back injury, conveniently sidelining her for the very game she was set to return. This cowardly ploy to avoid accountability and paint herself as a victim fooled absolutely no one and only deepened the resentment from her teammates. Meanwhile, Vandersloot continues her recovery with quiet dignity, focused only on returning to the court and proving her doubters wrong once again. You simply can't fake a career of class. In nearly 2 decades in the league, you cannot find a single instance of Courtney Vandersloot publicly shaming a teammate or creating locker room drama. She has won everywhere she's been because her leadership is built on earned respect, not loud demand. Even from the sidelines, she is a better and more impactful leader than Reese is on the court. Reese, however, has spent her short career burning bridges and alienating the very people she needs to succeed. Perhaps the most tragic part of this whole affair is the lost opportunity. Angel Reese had the chance to learn from one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. She could have had a mentor in Courtney Vandersloot, someone to teach her the nuances of the professional game, the importance of leadership, and the discipline required for sustained greatness. Instead of seeking wisdom, she chose to start a war. She rejected a mentor and created an enemy, sabotaging her own potential for growth out of sheer arrogance. Ultimately, this attack feels like a desperate smokescreen for a deeper insecurity. As Reese's on-court struggles have mounted, her shooting percentages dropping and turnovers piling up, she's turned to a classic deflection tactic. Instead of looking in the mirror and working on her own flawed game, she chose to attack the one person on the roster whose legendary status made her an easy high-profile target. It's a classic move seen time and time again when your own game falters, find someone else to blame. This leaves the Chicago Sky franchise with an agonizing dilemma. On one hand, Angel Reese is a box office draw. She sells tickets and jerseys and brings a level of media attention the team has never seen. On the other hand, she is cultural poison. Her actions have fractured the locker room, undermined the coaching staff, and disrespected the team's most beloved icon. The organization must now decide if the short-term financial benefits of a controversial star are worth the long-term destruction of a winning culture. The Chicago Sky organization now stands at a critical crossroads. Do they continue to build around a proven champion who embodies professionalism, teamwork, and a winning mentality, or do they keep enabling a player whose biggest talent seems to be generating controversy? Courtney Vandersloot's measured, powerful response shows exactly why one player has a trophy case full of championships, and the other has a long list of excuses. In the end, character always reveals itself, and the difference between these two has never been more stark or more clear.